What's good, everyone? Welcome to an edition of Uncut Live with Kenneth Clark. Y'all know who it is, your boy, and y'all know how Uncut Live goes. I talk about everything from the community to race, religion, and this is a platform for the community, in particular our blacks, and what you hear and what you see is what you're going to get. And on today's show, we have a special guest. The Stubbs brand. The Stubbs. Can you tell people a little bit about yourself and
Well, thank you first of all for having me on the show to voice my opinion because you guys know if you don't know, let me tell you, I'm going to keep it 100. I am the host of the Stubb Show, also the founder of the Leap of Faith Network, LLC. And the Stubb Show is a variety talk show where I'm in the community, I'm dealing with business owners, it's a lot that's going on. So when Kenneth called me to be a part of his platform and his show today, I was like, yes, especially with the many topics that you want to get into on today. I don't know if I'm going to play like the devil's advocate. I may not agree with everything, but I'm here to have a good time, and I thank you for having me and your audience for having me.
I'm glad that I was able to reach you because I know you're a very busy person. And,
Sometimes.
And I know you're doing a lot for people and family and a lot.
Yeah.
That you do.
Thank you for having me. So let's get into it.
So I want to just like really go in specifically in the fact that this is 2020, the year 2020, and a lot has happened within 2020. It's a lot. Particularly, we have the coronavirus, this pandemic. It's so much to talk about. We still have this, what I want to say, this weak mindset where it's like we're still operating as business as usual. And I want to know, what is it going to take for us as a black community, us as a black people, to wake up and take action? Are we continually just waiting on our government to take action? When are we going to do for us and stop looking for other people to do for us?
I think that's the thing. Black people have been so dependent on the government, from the welfare system to the housing, Section 8, to the your job, your daily job. And you hear so many people talk about that good government job, and they're ready to retire from it and build, and it's going to save them this, and they're going to have all that. But what they don't see is we have to start building within our communities first and for ourselves, because every few years we have like something that shuts us down, whether the government is being shut down. Now we have the coronavirus. I'm pretty sure a few years from now there's going to be something else, and no telling when that thing come how it's going to shut us down. And we just have to get wiser, because the government is actually running us right now.
So I want to ask this question. Do you think, what do you think has influenced us or entangled us to not really...
That word.
Yeah, I have to throw out there,
Okay, entanglement, okay.
Is it self-entanglement, or is it societal entanglement, or do you think it might be a combination of both?
I mean, I know people, hate Trump, but with this pandemic going on, I mean, a lot of people have made well off of it. From the unemployment to the stimulus check. Right now they're currently fighting for another stimulus check to come out. And I just think that it's so comfortable for many people to stay where they are than to move forward.
So, in essence, you think it may be more so of
It's not really it's society, because now we have social media where you want to look a certain way. I think it's just a learned behavior. I mean, even with me coming out of my comfort zone isn't easy. You know, the places where I feel comfortable at, you know, in order for me to grow, I have to come out of those. And I just think with so many Black people, we're just comfortable. It's like our children are being killed. We're losing our jobs. Our communities are falling all apart. There's a we don't even have grocery stores to go to now that used to be in our community for us. Now we're paying $10 for things that were $5. Like there we have the gentrification going on, where people are coming in and taking over our communities. It's like they're taking from us slowly and they're robbing us of everything, even from our village behavior. Now that's something that we laugh about or joke about with maybe the Mexican community or the Indians or the Africans. We're like, ha ha ha, they live with these many people in their homes and they're doing it this way. But if we did things back how, remember, we taught many races and cultures how to be through our being, and we still do, but we aren't learning the same way that they're learning or applying it the same way that they're applying. So is society mixed with also kind of like a brainwashing?
It's funny. You said something that I want to piggyback on, because you know I do a lot of work within the community as it relates to the gun violence, and I'm not one of those people that just say, oh, we got gun violence for the sake of gun violence. I try to look at the who, what, when, where, why, how, to try to get to the root, because I think that's another thing too.
Right.
We have a lot of issues on the surface, but I believe that we have a lot of reoccurrences of these issues transpiring because we don't get to the core of the thing.
Exactly.
So it's like we'll get a cut and we'll just put a Band-Aid on it.
Right.
But not necessarily get down in that cut, sterilizing it, you know, put that rubbing alcohol in there, put that Neosporin, you know what I'm saying, and
properly heal it.
To properly heal it. And so we have, in history, it seems like history keeps repeating itself over and over, and it's like we're not taking the time to learn. We're not taking the time to really get to the root of the issue. But you mentioned something about, and this is where I was having the argument about, so you know Trump is talking about this whole high hydroxychloroquine or whatever it is. Everybody seems like they're like, you should be with Trump, you know, because he's got this cure. And
What do you got to care about? Okay.
one of the things that I said, hold up, y'all are being more reliant on this cure. But one thing I'm not hearing in the equation is, okay, yeah, COVID is a different type of virus. I get it. It's something that's like big. Okay, I get it. But with any virus, there's something that we're kind of missing. There's a show that I used to watch called The Magic Scoopers. You remember that? And you remember how that they often talked about Ralph, because that's where the bus was going inside Ralph. You know, and
when they went on their adventures and floated out.
Yeah, you know, they went into his digestive system and start talking about, you know, the immune system, and, you know, how his immune system thought the bus was a germ.
Okay.
And she started talking about, and it was like green stuff getting on the bus, which was like the vegetables, the healthy eating. We're not talking about the nutritional value, how that healthy eating plays as a contributor to recovering from sickness. Because it you know, because really what's supposed
outside of medication, right?
Outside of the medication.
Okay.
And then depending on what and how severe the sickness is. One of the things, I have a doctor, black doctor, and she She talked about this, and she says I don't know why nobody's talking about drinking water. I don't know why nobody's talking about, the healthy eating. And she's been saying the same thing too. She's like, everybody's so hydrochloric. She said, but I haven't heard nobody talk about, are you exercising? Are you jogging? Is everyone just, oh, I'm gonna take hydrochloric and that's gonna be that? What about the natural vitamins that you get from foods? What about the, eat your green
But
vegetables?
why would they?
Because I think what we have is just easy access. I think it's when I say easy access, we have stuff that's like convenient, which has made us kind of lazy.
Right. So if coronavirus, COVID-19, whatever you want to call it, is here to, as they said, kill off the population of black people or just kill off the population of some of the human race, why would they tell us anything healthy? Everything has been shut down. Like you said, with the healing, with going deep and finding out what the issue is with the scar besides just bandaging it up. That's the same thing like within life. Nobody's digging deep. So why would talking about health and eating healthy would be digging deep? Working out, making yourself better so you could fight off this virus which deals with the immune system. Why would they talk about you eating properly so that you can fight off the virus? Because they're going to put out this vaccination later, and then what? I mean, just like you mentioned that we were going to talk about the evictions and things like that. Everything is part of the bigger picture that they have that we don't know about. So working together is the best thing to do, which is seeming more hard every year and every day and every second, but I know it's possible.
It is. I think we gotta deal with the mindset. I think there's some positive lessons to be learned from this pandemic, and then there's negative lessons to be learned from this pandemic. I think one is responsibility. Responsibility as to seeing what's really important. Because sometimes, like I said, sometimes because we have access to stuff, we kind of take things a little bit for granted because we just like, oh, I got that. Or that's there. That's there as a resource, and not necessarily being appreciative of that resource. Because we're now seeing the importance of regular truck drivers. None of us really thought that we were going to be going to grocery stores, and the grocery stores
Would be empty.
We never thought maybe. Because I've been going to this church for years, nothing is, it's kind of like giving us that opportunity where are we really being appreciative for what we, had or have, and then are we, because we have access to what we have, are we overlooking things that we should be attending to? You get what I'm saying? Like, are we just, so like, for example, we have a lot of individuals are now having to cook at home.
Spend time with family.
Spending time with family. Is that something that, because I'm caught up in my job, caught up in go. And so there's no time being invested into the kids. I mean, look what we got going on now with the schools.
Yeah, people are homeschooling and they're fighting to get those kids back in school. It's funny that I seen a protest for that they want their kids to go back, COVID or not. But I think that, I think with 2020 wrapped in one, the pandemic, the George Floyd, and because that sparked off a big global protests of many things, especially dealing with race. I think that what 2020 brought for me is recognition. Like, I really became more aware and more understanding to, I'm a dark skinned woman. Um, Due to my upbringing and things that I was able to do, I didn't see things. And growing up with mixed races and going to school with different, and friends being white and Mexican and Indian and Ethiopian, and I didn't see things like I see it now in 2020. 2020 made me realize what white privilege was. Having that conversation with my sons about the police, and I didn't even realize how much of a gang they were. So I think that it's not really responsibility far as black people taking responsibility for their communities and their black race. Outside of that, I think it just was awareness. It was like, get on alert, sis. Wake up. What you believe isn't true. How you feel isn't true. What you put and minimize is actually this big. Black mother, wake up. You have 2 black sons and you think that everything is okay. Well, guess what? They're black men, and when they go out, they're not with you, or even if they are with you, they're a target. It made me wake up to, okay, this religion that they gave you or someone gave you, you need to come out of, and you need to learn this bigger picture, because all across this world and this globe, there's a lot of shit happening. Excuse me, I don't know if you curse, but you can bleep it out. But there's a lot of things that's happening, and if you don't wake up to them, you too, my black sister, can die any day on the spot in broad daylight by the police.
It's funny you said that, because it has become, I would say specifically, some are being more open to being aware of the issue that we have as it relates to, how blacks are viewed. And there's some that's just a little bit, I think, blatantly bold, being in denial of it. Because I have dealt with a couple of individuals and said, we don't have racism here in America. So we take things to the extreme, and I think that comes from maybe a form of individualism, because they feel like, well, I've never had no encounters with the police, so
status too.
Status.
Were they black?
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of we've got predominantly a good few. This is no shade, because I'm not for or against Trump. Period.
Okay.
Because
I believe you get into that.
Yeah, because if I say something about Trump, then everybody's gonna come all at the throat.
But we might go viral.
It might go viral. I believe though that it's been some negative things that come from COVID, and there's been more positive things that have come from COVID. Positive for me was like, hey, tap in more, utilize your gifts, utilize the resources that you have at hand.
Mm-hmm.
Don't think because of what somebody else may have that you don't have the same potential.
Right.
It kind of has taught me to really get out of this compare and contrast. I don't care what nobody say, but this has caused us to look at things differently. I don't care if you got money.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care if you don't have money. But the reality is that we're now having to adjust differently than the way that we've been doing.
We're all level, kind of.
Yeah.
We're on the same playing field. It's not like, okay, you're over there, you're up here now, and I'm down here. Everybody was broken down into like one level.
You know, I think that is key. And then really just like, hey, am I just living for myself? You know what I'm saying? Because some of us are just kind of, well, that's them.
Right.
You know,
That's not me.
That's not me, and I won't be affected by it. So now we've been broadened, to reality, say, hey, in somehow, some form of fashion, we've had to adjust.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be a good adjustment or a negative adjustment. It still doesn't change the fact it's been an adjustment.
I have definitely been blessed throughout the coronavirus season, and this is a memory for me, like when they speak on coronavirus, yes, it was a pandemic going on, crazy things happen, but for me it has been a blessing.
Mm-hmm. I can say one of the things that have been a blessing to me since this pandemic is the fact, look at the studio right here.
Right, you doing your thing.
Because I didn't really realize that I had the ability of what I had, and I had
you need to take a break real quick to let them know how they can get connected with your studio. Like, come on now. Stubbs is up in here. You know what I'm saying? He got it going on.
This is
why. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I need reinforcement.
His face was looking like, you know what? You're right. Because you know what? Stubbs needs a break because I use a restroom. Yeah. Because it was Uncut Live, and I'm used to that.
Uncut Live. Here we go.
Go ahead, let them know where they can come check out the studio because you got it going on.
So this studio is located at 31 Brinkley Road in Temple Hills, Maryland. You can DM me on Instagram at Change Agent Now Forever. You can also look me up on Facebook, Kenneth Clark, and you can get in touch with me. It's open to the community. Just book. I'll put you on the calendar and make stuff happen.
He got the lights. I'm telling y'all can't see all the lighting in the background. He got the backdrops. He got it for you. Y'all better check him out. I'm your girl Stubbs. I'm at _Stubbs, STUBBS_show on Instagram. And you can always Google me by just putting in Shadonna Stubbs. Oh, sometimes.